Hi team, Coach Alexa here. So, as well as being a running coach, I'm also a sports and remedial massage therapist. And something that I see a bit of an increase in at this time of year, sometimes I see quite a lot of already, but goes up a little bit more at this time of year, is people with tightness or soreness around their neck, tops of their shoulders and their upper back. There are three main factors that I see that contribute to this. Two of them are all year round, one of which is the positions we spend a lot of our time in when we're throughout each day. So often if we're at a computer, our arms are forward typing. On our phones, our arms are forward, our shoulders are forward slightly. If we're driving, our arms are forward, our shoulders are forward. So a lot of what we spend quite a lot of our time doing during each day pulls gently these shoulders forwards, and our body is quite good at adapting to what we ask it to do. So over time it might start shortening the muscles at the front, lengthening and therefore weakening some of the muscles at the back of the upper back as well. So that's one factor. The next factor is often our shoulders are where we hold our stress. Certainly applies to me and a number of other people that I work with. So when we're overworked, got a lot on, or maybe worried about something that's a bit stressful that's coming up, we tend to kind of tense our shoulders and hold them a little bit further up or forwards of our body. But the third factor, which is a little bit more key at this time of year when we're having a bit of a cold snap, is the cold weather. So if you're out and about, getting a bit of a draft down your neck in your coat, we have a tendency to almost kind of turtle into our coats, kind of lift up our shoulders, sort of snuggle down into that coat, and again that's holding quite a lot of tension into our neck muscles and our upper shoulder muscles, and also colder muscles tend to be just a little bit tighter and less happy. Muscles work quite well and are nice and loose and limber when they're warmer. So a top tip for going out for a run is buying one of these. It's what's called a buff or a neck tube. So you can wear them in lots of different ways, but I just normally default to wearing it around my neck, maybe tucking a little bit over the front of my chin, maybe even popping it over my nose if the air is really cold, because it helps sometimes to humidify what we're breathing in. So I wear these out and about for dog walks, for runs, even sometimes when it's particularly cold in my house whilst I'm working. It's just a nice way to keep that neck warm. So this when you're running, or a big scarf or something like that when you're out and about. You can get bigger ones, so this is the sort of one that I might wear if I'm out on a walk, a little bit bigger, thicker and warmer. So that's a good little tip. The other one to think about is, how do we loosen off these muscles that are maybe getting a little bit tight and pulling us more forwards into this up and forward shoulder position. So there's a couple of things we can perhaps do throughout each day, but definitely before we go out and run, as part of a warm-up. As an aside, it's a good idea to do a little bit of warm-up in the house before you head out for your run. So that might be a few exercises, it might be a bit of running on the spot, because it's always that first 5 or 10 minutes, isn't it, of a run that feels really cold before your muscles warm through. So if you can warm through the muscles before you head out the door when it's really chilly out, that's quite a nice way of easing into the run a bit more gently. But a couple of stretches and exercises that you can do to help set these shoulders back and be a bit more relaxed again. So I've got a little door frame here just out of shot. So you want your hand on a door frame with your wrist about level with your eyes. So your arms going upwards slightly, and then just turning the body slightly away from that arm so you get a stretch across these pec muscles at the front of your chest. Each side hold for about 10 or 15 seconds. And then the other one to do is nice, slow, big backward arm circles. So again, we're just getting some mobility into the shoulders. When we stop here at this 10 to 2 positions, our arms should be slightly behind us, so we can't quite see, we're looking forward, we can't quite see them in our peripheral vision. Just a nice opportunity to stretch things out a little bit. Nice way throughout the day, if you particularly if you've got a desk job, whenever you stand up, move around, make a cup of tea or coffee, get a couple of those stretches in, it will just help undo a lot of that time we spend sat with our arms forward. Hope that's useful. Stay warm.